Welcome. We're extremely excited to introduce ViralTuning.com, a project that was born out of our own internal needs. ViralTuning.com comes to solve the pending issue of how to manage the effectiveness of the communication of our channels and how to modify those communication channels in such a way that we can promote our application to the next level. Managing these communications can be at times complex, tiring, and requires a very heavy interaction between the creative person that is using those channels or trying to excel with them and the developers that are supposed to be spending the time on developing those engaging features and not on handling those communication channels. The system is based around two different servers, a statistics server and a viral channel configurator. The statistics server handles how effective our communications are being. The viral channel configurator allows us to modify those communications. The interaction with the actual application is done through a SOAP API. In this manner here we would have our application. However, the modification of the different communications that we're enabling is done through a web user interface. Through this web user interface, a user can quickly access and see how effective his communications are and modify them in order to increase his success rate. Let us now have a quick look at how the actual web interface works. So let's jump right into it. We start off with our username, password, and bang, the first thing that we see are the application groups. So let's have a look at this application group called the FB Fund. This is the overall page of the FB Fund application group. How our overall traffic has been evolving during the course of this last day. In this case, we're going to have a closer look at the invitations. The first thing that we're presented in the invitation page is with a graph that is extremely visual and allows us to see patterns on the usage of these invitations and their success rate. We can modify this to represent different data. In this case, we're going to see the sent invitations, the opened, and the installations that these invitations have caused. A little bit further down, we get a quick overview of historical data that allows us to see how we're progressing. And even further down, we have what is really important and interesting in this section, which is the invitation details. The first thing to note is the situation. Situations are defined as different actions that may be carried in a particular application. In this case, we have invite friend and send gift. Study a little bit more the send gift part. Here we see two invitations that we have active in this mode. In this case, we can see that this first invitation is practically 2 times more successful than this last one. The logical thing would be to change its weight and give it a much more important predominance compared to this one. If we want to have a look at what the actual invitation texts are like, we just have to click on this little icon and we can see exactly what our users are seeing in Facebook. Now let us say that our creative in this instance wants to test out a new invitation text. All he has to do is click on this plus sign and automatically a new invitation is generated for him. By clicking here, we see an extremely intuitive user interface that allows us to define any invitation that we want. He can now click on Save Sub, or he can decide to make it live on his application. The process is as simple as hitting Publish, and then deciding what weight he's going to give it. Let us say, since we're testing this, we're just going to give it a 15 weight. At this moment, this invitation text becomes live in our application and is now being sent to our different users. As can be seen, what ViralTuning allows is for developers to become a lot more efficient at their communication with their user base and yet dedicate a lot more resources to creating those really engaging applications that the Facebook platform allows. Therefore, ViralTuning can be seen as a tool not only to enhance the success of your applications, but also to allow you to dedicate more time and resources to what is really important, the engagement and the fun of the users. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed.